I saw this picture of Florentino Perez. Maybe someone say, what is there to say about Florentino Perez? And it is one of the rare moments I'm not tactical about no one. I won't want to waste too much time on tactics, but because story now game in Ancasahono is brilliant. And I'm starting with Florentino Perez as the president of Real Madrid. Again, in the history of Madrid, for me, the best manager, the best president, even far better than Santiago Bernabeu, our stadium. He has been much more instrumental as a president than Santiago. And then, Saudi Madrid in Comona, you may be tempted to sing the praises of players, any coach, any other. But the president of Real Madrid, El Presidente, one of the first reasons I saw the person singing the song. Now, these days, best player be a Wuyase, whether in Africa, whether in South America, whether in Europe, in the first refusal, Real Madrid, I didn't make us. Player be a English Premier League. It can be Man City, it can be whatever. Or could do baby, or say, oh, people say me come Madrid nibi. Player be in every corner of the world. And person come Madrid nibi. It is because of how well Florentino Perez has built that team, my friend, Real Madrid, and they have been absolutely brutal in everything. Now, after game, in Central for 3 many bizarre say, now, yes, so was it, 16th, and the Apollo 16th, who translate, not verbatim, it means towards the 16th, and I will go for the 16th, according to Florentino Perez. I say, oh, see, I can't. But to be very honest, we are preparing towards the 16th Champions League title. That is the mentality. Utie Jude Bellingham, Orient Chimeni spoke to TNT Sports. Omubisa Orient Chimeni say, oh, we need the Yajiawi. But there are a lot of people in the group, imagine 5, imagine 4, imagine 3. So we have to also go and throw this at the back screen and go and change the 16th. It is the mentality of Real Madrid, born from the president, El Presidente, Florentino Perez, and a money a huge one for them. Now, Madrid in 15. English Premier League teams now come 15th now. Syria teams in now come now boom there 15th. Oko Spanish La Liga nim now oka 2 clubs so mudi Madrid achieve Barcelona any Atletico de Madrid or mudi no kaboma 5 pen or magic. Then you come back and look at League 1. Any team my friend League 1 teams no Bakope Marseille and no magic. So that should tell you. Now oka 2 teams now. Atletico de Madrid on GBO. Barca and Kwana aji numnina.
I see.
So it tells you. And this is the perspective of how dominant Madrid are here throughout in Europe. And you may be fast.
But sitting at home message. Because they say Drake Neko, Meba.
Yeah.
And I kill an Mbappe so it be a nan or china.
Yeah.
On my announcement, You there were her mother team we are. A quadri Champions League. No Sabina and Drake. And the Kylian Mbappe. As I have a cutting with one. Obviously, it looks like on Massage beam.
Oh, a huge addition. And trust me, giving your Mayeno, you can understand, say, on betting the 16th one. So, Madrid will move the story is different. Remember Mbappe, for me, not too much of Hendrik. Because I think that Hendrik will still need some time. So, Vinicius saying, yeah, 1 or 2 seasons. No? But Mbappe is the guy. And I'll tell a story why I think that Mbappe is a different level of player as compared to Nya Omunina or Honor. Rich, you come Edu Wembley. Now you see, oh, football here, do not underrate Dortmund for no. Because almost me make some miracle be no magic. You starting game now, Obi no she game ni biano. In Dortmund 4-2-3-1 of Marcel Sabitzer, any American at the base, then Julian Brandt as an amateur with Jadon Sancho Adeyemi, and in the class 4 o'clock leading the lines. We saw say now Osha Dortmund for now. They build up from the right hand side. Almost draw Madrid for into the bait. Then the trigger was for Adeyemi to get in behind. So for the first close to 30 minutes, Karim Adeyemi had some very, very, very good chances. And everybody who was watching the game on TV, and I'm sure say even there, our Wembley was expecting to say, Sanka Dortmund for any go. But the story of the Biayaka, and I say it every time. I'd seen a story before. I could feel it in me. Say, Adiawe, man, won't be paying against Leipzig, against Bayern, against Manchester City, against Dortmund in the final. Dortmund making the same mistakes, failing to convert. Now, a lack. It is not lack of Madrid. In football, one person will make you lack. You make your lack, and then you make it work. When you have chances, no, you flubbed it. And wait, in football, and then I can say the most important element of the game, go. And as a conversion, it won't do anymore. You can't tell me that it's just lack. And yesterday, on Saturday, time at Madrid for 10 things over. After the night, I can't mistake say Dortmund for Nangas and Kuomo, Nayan Matison throughout the season. He has been brilliant. In your bona, one square pass, the ball goes back to Vinicius Jr. and it was a beautiful one.
Because of a first half, no, let me catch it near studio. Because I'm more than as you want to make catch a man for the look. Dortmund, they all must be first half, no. So Karima Dave, and I mean, obviously, Obi of share first half, if you have the lack in the no moment, yeah. Because most of our chances are now can be to no, and another chance in the call. But no, so say no. Let me catch a man for look. Real Madrid bus second half, and Obianim Madrid from 17 minutes they called on board Champions League. So I knew, says Dortmund the first half for more go out. In the second half of the game, if it's 17 minutes they call Madrid be cool. First going to Banham's another one, Beba.
Look at this one also for Nicholas Fulkrug. Going through, finding the option to get a very good goal, but still goal number. Now it's really maybe. Dani Carvajal, only the tallest player on the field of play. Now, there is something that a lot of the people on the game didn't realize. Rich, you started ball near ball. Madrid were pressing Dortmund. The one you just sitting back. The original game plan from Carlo Ancelotti, they say, you're pressing Dortmund for like you game in them. But in the first half, the press wasn't successful. They lacked balance in your pressing. It was in the second half when you could see some Madrid have become Madrid that you didn't know or sit back. You know, it's okay. So what's the ball winning bar? In the second half, Gina Bobono, Niasha said, if you can break us down, they did everything that they wanted to do in the second half, and now they until this corner kick. Then the first one, over Kenya, or the Kenya that corner kick, Carvajal, you're about first half now. Then later on in the game, Dortmund dominated play. Until that second corner kick came in from a free kick. Now, so over game ni start free kick way, and they started a series of attacks on Dortmund. Now Vinicius Jr. on the left hand side. Onya ball na Matt Hummels, I didn't know what no, and a ball and a goalkeeper Gregory Kobel, a free one Tony Cruz ball, and a corner kick. From that point in time, Madrid began to grow into the game. Just from one free kicker, Matt Hummels, then from there, they could dictate the pace of the game, could play well, they could control the game. Eduardo Camavinga could move forward, almost charge with Bellingham at some point in time. You realize, okay, Madrid are really slowly building. But in the second half, generally, nobody there sitting back, waiting for Dortmund to come at them, and then they can catch them on the break. Then that faithful corner kick did come. The tallest of them, the shortest of them all. Player you won't know Madrid crew on. Before so just sit we know I 5 already in the history of Madrid. For me, he's the second longest serving Madrid player in the current team because on loan to Leverkusen. And again, it goes back to the brilliant job of Florentino Perez as the president of Real Madrid. Say Ode Carvajal Eco loan Leverkusen. Or first refusal. I can say there is going to be a buyback clause depending on the number of years that Carvajal bets now Leverkusen. It immediately contra Omo and Jose Mourinho didn't work. No, he went in there and then brought Carvajal back into the team. Brilliant job from a manager or a president to understand the Jumoye and a Carvajal and a pinball tomb. Then the next one was from Vinicius Jr. A boy that was born in Rio de Janeiro. Never really thought say this would be his fate. Omani 2-0. For me, Madrid deserved it. A very sad one, say Edin Terzic. And this is a video and now Jose Mourinho console the young manager Edin Terzic. He had come very close, very, very close. But the sad thing is, the best player last season, Man City 4 far back, and Madrid 4 far back. Madrid Edison the best player in the team. Ashen 2-0, and then the Don Carlo Ancelotti. Waji the most coveted prize for me. the best manager in the history of the Champions League. We're winning 5 times. Josep Guardiola 3 times. Zinedine Zidane 3 times. Bob Paisley of Liverpool and winning 3 times. And it tells you the league of managers are Carlo Ancelotti. Which means there is a statement that they say in English. Yes, aviation. Say, assume Edrua and prepare for huge days. Do you remember the story of Carlo Ancelotti losing finals? At the beginning of Carlo Ancelotti's journey as a manager, or losing big finals with AC Milan. You remember the story of Istanbul?
Liverpool.
Yes, then the subsequent year they came back together. Sanyaman. It built Carlo Ancelotti's career. And adversary no, he had learned to grow through it, and then Carlo Ancelotti had 3 of them with Real Madrid, and of course 2 with AC Milan. 2022, 2024, 2006, 2007, 2014, or 2002, 2003. Once he lost it in 1989, and it tells you, say, you build your character. Go through it. The loss is still a part of the process. Carlo Ancelotti has lived it. Of course, for El Presidente, they have told you the story. He's a huge man. And Florentino Perez, I think that we are already focused on the next one. We're going to catch on. Now, poll are 16. We want the 16th. And that's exactly what they want to do. Kylian Mbappe. Now, Mbappe, the question is, level Ben and Mbappe at Real Madrid. Because even before that, the conversation on the Ballon d'Or will come. And then, the Ballon d'Or is Vinicius Junior's to lose. Again, our statement was re-emphasized. Under 24 players, multiple goals in Champions League finals. Vinicius Junior is in that category. Again, in the final, the Zinedine Zidane or England, the Perez Jude Bellingham, he was nowhere to be found in that final. And it was Vinicius Junior and sorry no more who said me and I'm a Madrid poster boy, not a crab of England by me. And for me, in play if the Ballon d'Or is to be given to anybody, it's going to be Vinicius Junior. I know, say there is the Copa America that's going to go on. I know say Euros never cost. I know say even the Olympic Games ever cost. But to be very honest with you, unless something mad, something crazy, something monumental, it was a category of competition.
And Jude, young fan say, yeah, Euros here started on the 14th. So Jude at the England Cup final, no Gia.
You see, Jude, you know, and you say this on the England Cup final for you because even in the English team, he has to do more than Harry Kane, and so performing more than the English boys, you know. Yeah, first Harry Kane, I said 12 goals.
No, so say I did Ballon d'Or cover.
Yeah.
And obviously, a 19 million common
exactly.
And I make sure say, Senyami Adumana Yakobo Erosuno on the 14th.
Yeah.
Near Vienna, England Cup final.
Yeah.
No Mutimegia.
Yeah.
And the Honor among Fonso Case. Then a Honor Bama Jude Bellingham winding.
That is what I'm saying, say, unless Jude Bellingham does something huge in the Euros, and yet GNM Kwan. I so make a statement, best player of the tournament, or say 10 goals, 5 goals. He has to make huge statements because Omumiya Aje Champions League. But Vinicius Junior has been better in the Champions League than him with goals, numbers.
But Yemfa Champions League and
anything I make us say, or just a dude in the next competition, he performs higher than Vinicius Junior. Maybe Vinicius will not play well for Brazil, and that is how can it be possible if Vinicius doesn't play well.
Maybe enough Vinicius,
and I said Brazil
and a good tournament
exactly.
And Brazil can't be on
but Sisi Amimijina had here, and I think that Vinicius or no. The last time Ancelotti and Gasaji Tumu said he thinks that the best contender for the Ballon d'Or is Vinicius Junior.
Okay.
And even with this picture, I'm very sure say no Jude Bellingham, he agreed. Now, and this also shares our video. No, the right.
Me catch up. Why can't not to enjoy? Catch us on your day.
The Vinicius Junior. Is he?
Vinicius Junior in Bobo.
Yeah. And me there.
I run to even or didn't or the body by you. To do an audio money.
Vinicius Junior and Fabon connect. There is nowhere else to go. Just here. Which Vinicius Junior and Fabon connect. Now, this is my take on Kylian Mbappe. I don't know what tomorrow holds. But Minimara near Mbappe with my Madrid beam. Then obey Ballon d'Or 10 and Obeji Champions League 10 and Obeji 20 and because ebi match 6. Cruz, Nacho.
They say also sign 5 years.
Exactly. It's Obeji 5 and consecutively and then Mbappe be. Rich, na me can say me at the beginning of my analysis say oh. Anyway, Madrid has the first refusal to every best player be able to react there. Adentia. Because Madrid are building who to the extent say on him says Mbappe be saying just now. Mbappe wants to get to the top. See Rich, check your archives. When was the last time a French knee edged Ballon d'Or? When was it? When was the last time, even before Luka Modric, a European edged the Ballon d'Or? For the French, for Kylian Mbappe, Mame, any sign man, until Karim Mustafa Benzema, it had been very difficult for them to win the Ballon d'Or. Now, almost close to a decade. And I know, say, if you speak to Faisal and Mari, Papa Wilfred Mbappe, they are consistently believe, say, yes, she say Ebano. We are building him to the extent that we want him to win the Ballon d'Or as a black man and for the French national team. It was an important deal for them. And I will say, I brought a friend Kylian Mbappe to get there. So for me, I don't think Mbappe will do so much for Madrid. Okay. But Madrid, every man is our platform, you know. Our new here.
And also, Mbappe to
be the best player in the world.
Me Lydia, the minimum Zimbabwe. Say, the petition come UEFA. Say, come Some coffee, it's Uncle Fui. Champion League. Wrong cut refi be 10-5 years bi.
Now just
I don't magisa.
What's the match with Bellingham counter the game now?
Magisa.
I'm beside say oh now you say Mbappe but say I on killing. No one who say first half we here say killer no.